go. Okay. Hi, we are back coming to you live from Radio Row here in New Orleans. The next, in my opinion, the next Ring of Honor recipient over there at Ray J, Martin Gramatica. What's up, man?
Don't jinx me, man. Don't jinx me.
I'm doing all the work. Well, you did all the work. I'm now trying to get it done.
No, I appreciate that.
And I don't mean to throw you, one of these curveballs, but I think it's long overdue. You know that. You should be up there.
It would be an honor, but I'm not losing sleep over it.
Sure.
I would appreciate it. Would be nice, especially with the big names that are there. It's not something that if it happens, great. If it doesn't, I'm still love the Bucks. I'm still made some great friends, and have some awesome teammates. So I'm happy with the.
Before we talk about yesterday and tomorrow, let's talk about right now what's going on. You're on Radio Row.
Yeah, so I'm working for Televisa. Televisa's from Mexico. I did the Super Bowl with them last year, so I must have done an okay job. No, I don't think they like me, but I bring the Super Bowl ring.
How can they not like you? You're one of the most likable guys I've ever met.
I don't think it's me. I think it's the ring, because they love the ring. So that's the only time I bring it out. They asked me to bring it last year, so I usually leave it in a safe. In this case, I bring it out because they take photos with a video. So I said, well, I'm going to keep bringing it as long as they keep inviting me.
Would you wear the ring more often if it wasn't so big and gaudy?
I don't know. I mean, possibly, but mine is like a pinky ring compared to the ones that they're getting now.
Sure.
So, but I think it's, I don't know. I doubt it. I think it's more like people already know that you played, that you won the Super Bowl. It's not like you want to put it in their face. Like, look, I won. But and this week is a special week to wear it because they like it and they asked me to do it.
Well, you're saying that the newer ones are bigger than yours. Imagine how much bigger yours is from Super Bowl 4. Or,
well, the rings are equivalent to the salaries. Right?
Yeah, and you customize it too, right? I think a lot of people don't know that, but you actually kind of make it your own, right? It's not a general across-the-board ring, right?
No, it's a general. Yeah, no.
Oh, I thought you could customize it. Am I wrong about that?
Well,
okay,
they customize it. They do what they want. The team does.
And
then that's what everybody gets. Is it true that you declined the Super Bowl MVP because you didn't want to write XXXVIII?
It was too much. It was too much on the name. I'd just rather just put my number. Yeah.
Dexter complains about it all the time. Not that he's the MVP, but he's like, I couldn't have been Super Bowl 30.
Dexter, come on, be happy.
No, he is.
He's funny.
What's your opinion, the status of the Bucs right now?
I love it. I mean, Baker, I say he's a linebacker playing quarterback, and the team follows his identity, which is toughness and gritty, and I love having a guy like that, a leader like that. And again, he's one of those leaders that doesn't have to say I'm a leader. He leads by example, by putting his head down and running over people. That anytime he does that at the stadium, it elevates all the fans, but his teammates as well. And then you have superstars like Mike Evans breaking the record. I mean, 11 straight years, even after being injured a couple of weeks. Incredible. I love the direction the team's going.
As a player, a lot of people say I'm wrong. I believe in Marshawn Lattimore.
Right?
If Lattimore, very rarely, but I think you're going to agree with me.
Okay.
If Lattimore was on the Saints that final game, I don't think Lattimore lets Evans make that catch.
Oh, no. He's no question, because there's a big rivalry there.
Right.
But the Bucs, what Todd Bowles did for Mike and for the organization, to me, it won the locker room for him, because now if he's willing, everybody criticizes him, he put the game on the line, he put the risk the game. But you have a guy that's given so much to your franchise. You got a guy that I'm so glad they re-signed back. He needs to retire, Buccaneer. He's that type of guy, like a Rondé, guys like Derek that represent what the Buccaneers football is. And for Todd Bowles to say, we're going to do this for you, I thought it was huge. I thought the momentum from that play was going to help us blow out Washington. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but I thought that was going to give the team that momentum that we needed, because I felt like it united everybody after doing that.
No, I agree 100%. If it came down to that one play and Lattimore was there, I see him doing whatever, hits him before he comes off the line, whatever.
Oh, yeah. No, he wouldn't have let him release, for sure. No, that's no question. No, I agree with you there.
See? So that's right.
It occasionally does happen, Randy. Yes, it occasionally happens.
It was too much of an obvious.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, everybody disagrees with me. Everybody's like, he wouldn't. No, Lattimore does that.
That's because they have that rivalry. Right. They don't like each other. Now, if they're just a random receiver that he didn't care about, maybe but it's not that Lattimore wouldn't let any receiver, just he wouldn't let Mike.
Right.
Because they have that history. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
For sure.
Now,
Yeah.
Martin, it's been about 20 years since the your Super Bowl winning.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Honestly, a little bit more than 20 years. That's even worse.
Yeah, right. It's been a little bit more. But the game has really changed since then, and I think it's changed. Well, we know there's been new rules, quarterback changes and so forth, but even the kicking game and the risk taking that is happening that we're seeing over the last couple of years with the 4th and 2s, with going for it at 4th and 6, and trying to get the 2-point conversions, and also the kicking. If we notice, people are 60 yards, and sometimes they're going for it. So I kind of wanted to get your input on that and why you think that we're becoming more of a risk-taking team out there.
Well, first of all, the way the NFL's changed, John Lynch couldn't play.
Sure.
He'd be fined every weekend, or he'll be kicked out of the league for hitting, for decapitating guys.
Do you like it? Not to jump in. Do you like this better, or do you like what it was?
I mean, if you ask the defenders, they're probably say I don't like it because now they're getting fined probably more and they're getting more penalties. They're protecting the offensive player more. So maybe you say that. I mean, for a guy that doesn't like to get hit, right. I don't want to get hit. Right. And as far as the kicking, the guys I get asked that all the time, and I say the training is so specific now. I was a soccer player that kicked footballs. Now these kids, they usually start with soccer, but they convert to kicking much younger, and now they have kicking coaches that show them the proper technique early on, plus proper training as far as weight room. I look at my kids' bodies. I didn't look anything like them. They're so much more developed and more muscular in their legs because now they're working certain muscles that help them kick more, or longer.
We should mention your son kicks for University of South Florida in Tampa as a USF and is killing it right now. And then you've got your daughter is a fantastic soccer player. We can get into that later, your involvement in the soccer leagues down there, the new leagues that are coming out.
No, sure. Yeah, so we're super proud of Nico. The one thing with Nico is we're proud, not that he's kicking and that he's done a good job for his effort and the hard work that he's put in it. Because people say, oh, can the name open doors? I think it's more pressure than open doors, because if Nico wasn't good or wasn't a hard worker, they're like, Gramatica's kid sucks, Gramatica's kid doesn't work hard. Now, if he does a good job, they're expecting him to do it because, he's Gramatica's kid, he should be good. So I think it hurts more than it helps, in my opinion.
I'd say that, but it raises an eyebrow, which other people don't get. Like, you hear the name Gramatica. Obviously, your nickname was Automatica Gramatica. Everybody knows that. So you hear that name, and also you have another relative who played in the NFL. That was your brother, right? So your name is, synonymous with great kickers.
What I was once told by Kyle Petty, just to jump in, because I asked Kyle Petty that exact thing, and he goes, absolutely, my last name opens doors because of my dad.
But you've got to prove it more.
And that's what he said, but my talent still has to be there, or the door's open, but then it'll get shut. I'll get kicked out, and then it gets shut pretty quick.
Right. Well, I guess my point wasn't that it won't open doors, but they're
give you a look.
They expect more.
They're expecting more right away. Where as an 18-year-old,
that's a lot of pressure
to have his first kick ever to be 58 yards. I didn't have that. I didn't kick anything past that till my senior year. My junior year was 55. So for him to but that's all him though. Right. The last name in the back of the jersey. I didn't help him do that.
Right, for sure.
We're there to support. But it has to be him doing it, but his hard work's what got him there.
When did
you
the
had
kids?
a 65-yard in Kansas State.
My senior year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Against Illinois, wasn't it?
Yeah, Northern Illinois. But my point was that my first 2 years were not great. I didn't have any long kicks. My longest was like 42 yards. So for him to just be thrown out for a 58-yarder, that's him doing it. It doesn't matter what the back of the jersey says. He has to work for that.
No, for sure. When did they realize what you did and how good you were, and more importantly now, how well respected you were then and are now? Your kids. Kids.
I was like, who? My kids.
A lot of times they're so young they don't know.
Right. No, and they didn't get to watch me play much. Nico was a year old or a year and a half, so it wasn't like they remember. Like I have a couple photos holding them, in my arms. And that was mainly in Dallas and New Orleans were the last two teams that I played as a father. But I think they appreciate it now. because they can see, okay, they realize it's not easy to be a kicker. It's a lonely position, but anywhere they go, oh, your dad kicked, or your dad did this. So I think they can appreciate it maybe now more that they're a little bit older and they're doing what I did.
Right.
So I think that's mainly it. Even though, Santiago takes all the, well, he doesn't take it. We give all the credit on the coaching because he's a much better kicking coach than I am. I say I worked their mental side because I wasn't the nicest coach, and Santiago's more laid back, nicer, and can actually teach the technique.
How are you not a nice coach?
Oh no, I have multiple personalities. Yeah, you put a mic and I'm nice with a mic. No, for me it was more natural, because like I said, I was a soccer player that kicked footballs. So it's hard for me to see the little details where Santiago's a much better coach and he can say, okay, your plant foot's off by an inch or your follow through. So he corrects those type of things where I'm more on like being hard on them to realize, because, and you remember Joe Marciano?
Yeah.
So Joe, for the years that I was here, I almost hated him because he made my life miserable from Monday to Saturday. But on Sundays, he was the most supportive and incredible. But I had gone through so much during the week that the game was easy because I had seen it all. I have gone through everything during the week. But he was preparing me for Sunday. Right. Now that I look back, I'm like, as much as I didn't like what I was going through, it prepared me for Sunday. And that's kind of what I did with my kids. I was more getting them prepared for coaching, for adversity, because as a kicker, you're going to miss. You're not going to make every kick. And I always tell them, I said, nobody's going to judge you on your makes. They're going to judge you on the next kick after you miss. That's the most important kick. When you miss, how do you bounce back from that? Even in my middle son had a tryout for Texas a couple weeks ago, and the first comment the coach said, the 2 kicks that you missed, the next one was driving down the middle. That's what we like to see. They didn't say, oh, you missed 2 and your stats are. No, they said, okay, we like the fact that after you miss, the next one was down the middle.
Kicking's a mental game, isn't it?
Who's
really?
Nico's Mark Royals?
The guy he doesn't like? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sending that to Mark.
No. No, I love Mark. Mark's great.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, no,
for those people that don't know, because we are going back 20-some years.
A lot of jokes.
It was always Mark, yourself, and me, and there was always these inside digs and stuff. So Mark's the best.
No, he has a lot of friends on the team. Well, usually, the punters. So now they have 2 new punters on the team. But Andrew Stokes last year was the senior punter that kind of took him under his wing and showed him the way. So it's nice that when you come in as a freshman to have a veteran or an older punter that can show you the way. And then Coach Golish is doing an awesome job of building. And they talk about culture, but it's true. You've got to build not only a winning culture, but a family. And he does that. His kids are always around. His wife's always around. We're always welcome to the facilities or around because that's the same as Tony Dungy. He built a family, and that backbone for us was we were a family. We cared about each other. These kids care about each other.
I know you have something else coming up, so we only have another minute. We're probably way over anyway.
No, you're fine.
But talk about, the chair. There's 5 veterans here among the 4 of us, just so you know.
Well, thank you for your service.
Well, he did both.
Nice.
So he
That's incredible.
I would say learn the lesson, but you were Navy first. Talk about your charity and what you're doing back home.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Argentina. So when people ask me why do you want to give back to the military, to our veterans, is because the freedom that we have in this country you don't have in other countries, and that's because of our men and women that give so much. So our foundation has been building homes for veterans, and it's called the Gramatica Family Foundation, but we say it's the Tampa Bay community because without the community, without the support of the community, we do a lot of stuff with Pinellas Habitat. Now we're doing Operation Code Vet that does a lot for veterans as well. We just want to say thank you. And Charlie, our Lemon, our first recipient, he lost both legs in Afghanistan. And he's the nicest, most positive and happiest person you ever meet. And I'm thinking, if I lose both legs, I'd be probably the most miserable, angriest person ever. And he's like, well, not only did I lose my both legs, but
you just threw me a softball and I didn't stop. But
yeah,
it's okay.
No, thank you. Right. Don't interrupt me, man. It was getting to my point though.
Okay.
No, but he's like he lost his best friend with that explosion. So he's like, I'm living. My best friend's not here. I'm living for him as well. So now he's graduated from USF. He has a kid. He's married. Great career. So that for us is priceless to see somebody, because he wanted independence. That's that's what this home did for him, and it's just a way for us to say thank you for everything that we have in this country.
When's the next one? When's your next home?
We're building one in Ruskin right now. We're not sure. Construction. I could tell you a week might take a year. Sure. So it's and especially when you're trying to get donated time and stuff, it takes a little bit longer sometimes. But with Pinellas Habitat, they do such a great job that those guys knock him out pretty quick. So I'm talking to Mike Sutton, their CEO, to start the next one for a veteran. So we haven't started yet, but we're trying to find out. A lot of times with Habitat, they're not all veterans, so we have to wait till they have a veteran home so we can partner up with them. With Operation COVID, every remodel, everything we do through them, it's all for veterans.
National broadcast, obviously people in Tampa should know how to get in touch with you. How can people follow you nationwide, internationally, websites, Twitters, all that stuff?
The easiest is at Martin Gramatica on Instagram. That's the one that I understand the most. I'm not saying I'm good at it. Twitter or X, whatever it's called, I don't understand it. And then Facebook's for old people, I hear, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm on it.
Exactly. That's why I look that way.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm sure your kids keep you, up to date on that kind of stuff. They take over for you. You just say, "Hey, man, Nico, I don't understand.
I need some help." Oh, absolutely. Not only that, but they make fun of me. Like they'll send a screenshot. You messed up. You misspelled this, or you did this. Usually, my wife does the misspelling thing, but she's like, "You misspelled this word." I'm like, Spanglish. I always blame it on Spanglish. And then, but my kids will say, "Hey, you need to do this. Tag that." So they do school me on that a little bit.
How much fun are you doing radio, and how difficult is it? Because a lot of athletes, they give me a hard time. You're not picking, who you think is going to win, and then they go into the media side, and now they get it. You got to be careful what you say. When you critique, all that kind of stuff.
Well, for me, during a Super Bowl, it's neutral. I could care less who wins. Then I'll make my pick according to who I think is going to win. But anytime the Bucks play, I can never pick against the Bucks because I'm always going to be cheering for my team and always going to want my team to do well. And we do the Spanish radio for the team. So anytime there's a pick and the Bucks are involved, I'm picking them no matter what. In this game, it doesn't matter. I could care less who wins. Now it's just let's go through the details. Who you think is going to win?
Who do you think is going to win?
Yeah.
It's really hard to go against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that guy is incredible. But I think with the running game that the Eagles have, if they can control the ball and keep Mahomes on the bench and not on the field, then I think they have a chance. So it's tough to say the Chiefs aren't going to win, but in this case, I think Philly has a chance.
Who's got the better kicking game?
They're both excellent kickers. Butker, he's proven that he can kick in the Super Bowl. He's made big kicks for them in the playoffs, and then obviously won in the Super Bowl as well to win one. So I think Butker has that edge, even though Elliott is a phenomenal kicker as well. So there's really, I would say, as far as when you look at stats, there's really not an advantage, but the experience of more Super Bowls for Butker, I think that gives him that little edge.
What do you think about risk-taking? Do you think that these teams are going to be more willing to, say, kick a 55 or even a 60 that we're seeing more than ever in the last couple of years in the NFL, or do you think they're going to go for two? Because we're seeing that now too.
Right. The field goal, it depends, because you don't want to give the ball to any of these two teams at midfield. When you play a team with a weaker offense, then you may take that risk because now you can give them the ball at midfield. They're still not going to even get into field goal range. But now these offenses are so explosive that they may go for it more than kick a long field goal or punt it and then pin them down, because you got to be a little bit more conservative. But at the end of the day, it's a Super Bowl. You're here to win. So whatever got you here, I think you shouldn't change. Like Detroit was criticized for being aggressive. I go, well, that's what got him there. Right. Yeah. So why change? And I think coaches have that video game mentality now. I mean, they go for it way more. Back in the day, you went for it on fourth down and people thought you were crazy. That's where the game's changed a lot. Because remember, back in the day, you rarely saw anybody go for two, and because the extra point.
Dungy was very conservative on that. You really didn't go fourth unless you were inches.
Well, we have such a great defense.
Yeah, that's true.
So that you wanted it. Anytime we had a chance, we'd pin them deep, and then our defense would get us the ball back right there, or do a pick six, or get a turnover. So when it comes to the Dungy style, I can understand why we were so conservative, because now our defense was taking care of business. So now if you have a team that you don't have such a great defense, then you may have to be more aggressive, knowing that you have to outscore the opponents.
We are talking to Martin Gramatica. Final question, I think, but we always tend to change it. If Patrick Mahomes is not in, which he is, in the GOAT conversation, how much more does he have to do to take that title? I mean, winning 3 in a row and this is his 17th year and being in the championship game. When does he reach that and leapfrog Tom Brady?
You got to win 8, I think.
It's all about the rings?
To me, in that position, I think it is. Even though, listen, what Patrick Mahomes is doing, Tom Brady didn't do early on, and
it's a different game though. It's not get more protection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, you see some of the hits that Tom Brady got it early on in his career. They're not doing that anymore. You can't hit the quarterback like that. So it is a different game. He is a much better athlete than Tom, but now but at the end of the day, the quarterbacks judge by the Super Bowls, in my opinion. So I thought if the Kansas City beat the Bucs in the last Super Bowl they played, I thought then he had a chance to maybe pass that 7, because it would have been 6 to 4 now.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would have been, you could say, it's reachable. Now when Tom beat him and got the 7, I think it was 7-3 at the time or 7-2, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Then I said, okay, looks far away, but the way the Chiefs are playing, the way they just keep building, they keep getting better, not worse. Then they always have a chance. But I think it's going to be hard to pass Brady.
I think, too, when you get down to an argument, like let's say he gets 7, okay, and maybe he goes to 10 or 11, but he gets 7, or maybe he gets 8. At the end of the day, he'll never have been able to beat Brady. And when it came head-to-head, Brady won.
Right.
So you got to throw that wild card in there, and I still don't think you could be able to call him the GOAT under same circumstances, or the greatest quarterback. Even with 7, I think there would be a little bit more that he would have to prove just because he lost in his heyday against Tom.
Well, every era changes. So if they played year to year together, let's say like in soccer, Ronaldo with Messi, okay? There's no question Messi's better. He's won more. He actually won the World Cup. So now can you argue that Ronaldo's better than Messi? Some people might, but when you look at statistics, you look at championships, you can say, and they played at the same time.
Yeah.
So now, can you compare him to Pelé or Maradona, the guys that played 20, 30 years ago?
That's a great point. Absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was a different game. So I think they overlapped such a short time, Brady and Mahomes. It wasn't like they're almost their whole career. So at the end of the day, I think they're both great. Right now at this point, I would say Brady's still the GOAT because he's got 7.
Yeah. And Macy, I just want to throw this in. I've had this argument many times with people. I like Ronaldo better, but Macy, I think, is a better team player. You know what I mean? Like when you talk about.
My argument was you just ruined my argument. No, but I understand what you're saying.
Look, I never get to talk soccer. I never ever get to talk soccer.
We're at the Super Bowl talking soccer.
I love it because we got Martin Gramatica here, so of course we're going to throw in soccer.
No, listen, Ronaldo's great. And a lot of people say Ronaldo is the best player in the world, okay?
Yeah.
Messi is out of this world. He's that much better.
Okay, I can get it because he is. But it is a good argument. But what I do like about Messi is also he has more assists. Crazy, right? I mean, that's what I mean by more of a team player.
Right.
Like he's willing to give, and I will say that sets him above the rank too, even if you're going to argue it.
But Ronaldo's more of a selfish player because that's what a forward has to be.
Yeah.
Where Messi now, he's evolved this game. Physically, he can't do what he did when he was in his 20s. So now he's dropping back and become that assist. And then when the team needs a goal, he'll end up figuring out a way to get a goal.
Who's a more exciting player to watch?
Messi, 100%.
You think I see Ronaldo.
The things that I've seen Messi do with the ball at his feet, nobody has ever done it. Nobody. Because Ronaldo's just physically gifted. I mean, he's just strong, big. He worked at it too. Don't get me wrong. Look at it. His body he wasn't born like that. He had to work at it. But what Messi's done at the height, he's a smaller player. But what he does, the speed that he moves with the ball at his feet, nobody can do. Ronaldo couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. And I just think that just watching him play back in the day when he was at his prime, I don't think anybody comes anywhere near what Messi can do with the ball at his feet.
You think he's still got? How are you watching the games here?
Come on, I'm taking my wife for Valentine's Day. Messi,
clearly.
No, I'm taking the whole family.
Yeah, right. What's your daughter think? She a Ronaldo or Messi?
Come on now.
Come on.
Everybody's Argentina all the way. And Messi. No, so yeah.
We should throw that in there for bias that Martinez from Argentina. We should have said.
Think?
Yeah, I think there might be a little bit of bias.
Yeah,
Listen,
Where's from?
Martine, wait a minute. There is bias. You cried when you won. I saw your Facebook. You were so happy when they won the World Cup. It looked like
I
you
didn't
were
cry.
crying.
No, my daughter did because I squeezed her too hard. No, we did get super excited. No, listen, I grew up playing soccer. I love soccer. So that for Argentina, because Messi, it took him so long to get that. That's the thing. How much pressure does Ronaldo get to win a World Cup? None. And
Right.
because we live soccer differently in Argentina.
Yeah.
You saw 5 million people show up to Buenos Aires to celebrate the World Cup.
You have a better team than Portugal.
Martine wouldn't
yeah.
do a video for me because it didn't involve Argentina.
There you go. Thank you.
So that just says.
That should tell you.
Martine, as always, love you, man. Thank you for
Thank you,
stopping
guys.
by. Later in the week, if you've got some time, we can finish the conversation.
We're here all week. We can talk more soccer during the Super Bowl.
There you go. No
what I'm
place
talking
better.
about.
All right, coming to you live from Radio Row here in New Orleans. This is Knockout Radio. We'll be right back.